It's amazing what a man will do to himself over a woman, and still more amazing what a woman will do to herself over a man. This story happened in Virginia City, Montana Territory.
Frontier Gentleman. Herewith an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. In just 1 minute, we will bring you this latest report from the Frontier Gentleman.
What are you stopping here for, Clark? The country club is still a half-mile away.
I know, Scarlett, but I don't want to drive up to the club in this low-priced car.
But the snow is 6 inches deep, and I'm wearing my ballerina slippers.
Well, you'll just have to hoof it, baby. I'm not driving any further. You're much too big for a piggyback.
Oh, the snow is cold.
Take bigger steps.
Oh, that won't help. Why don't you get a big car like a swept-wing Dodge?
A Dodge? I can't afford a big car like that.
Oh, yes, you can. Even though Dodge is a big car, it's priced below 59 different models of the low-priced field.
What? You mean I can own a big swept-wing Dodge for less than I paid for my car?
That's right. And you get all that big car roominess and big car luxury. With a Dodge, you get all the car you're paying for.
Okay, Scarlett. Let's forget the Dodge, dear, and go see our Dodge dealer.
Oh, wonderful, darling. On these cold feet, who could dance anyway?
Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
Virginia City, Montana Territory, was particularly noted for 3 things: its gold, Henry Plummer and his band of outlaws, and the vigilantes. The vigilantes disposed of the Plumbers and were replaced by a more lawful authority, so that by the time I arrived, only the gold remained, and of course those who sought it, the miners. They filled the town day and night, spending their hard or easily won money in saloons, gambling houses, and hurdy-gurdy establishments. I was attracted to one of these on the night of my second day in Virginia City. It was a brilliantly lit saloon called Skinner's, and outside was a large sign proclaiming the appearance of Miss Eulalia Robinson. I went inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll give me your attention, kindly refrain from shooting 6 guns in the establishment, because the next man that does it's going to get thrown out on his saddle. With your kind permission, I have the honor of presenting the world-famous actress, Miss Eulalia Robinson. She has appeared before the crowned heads of Europe and honors us with a presence tonight by special appointment to Her Majesty, the Queen of England. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Irving's leading lady, Miss Eulalia Robinson. For her first recitation, Miss Robinson will give us a scene from William Shakespeare's play, Romeo and Juliet.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face. Else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on forms. Fain deny what I...
She was in her late 30s. Not a good actress. Not even beautiful. But her manner, the dignity of carriage, created an illusion of beauty which captivated her audience. She remained on the stage for a solid hour, and by the time she was finished, I could see that every man in that saloon was completely taken by her. And more than one imagined himself to be hopelessly in love.
Boy, ain't she something. Now, that's what I call a woman. Hey, where you going?
I want to meet her.
Who knows? Hey, partner, wait for me.
Mr. Skinner?
Yeah?
My name is Kendall.
What?
Kendall.
Kendall?
Yes, that's right. I'd like to meet Miss Robinson.
Yeah, you and 100 more. It'll tear the place down.
Now, I'm a correspondent for the London Times, newspaper.
Newspaper man?
Yes.
Sure, come on, duck under here. How'd you like it? That's real culture, huh?
She's quite a success.
Yes, she sure is. What paper did you say you write for?
London Times.
Was that so? Well, Miss Robinson will get a kick out of that. You and her both coming from England.
Yes? Come in.
Oh, that was just fine, Miss Robinson. Real fine. Say, this is Mr. Kendall. He writes on the London Times.
Mr. Kendall.
How do you do?
May I present my business associate, Mr. Grimes?
How are you? Grimes?
I guess you folks have plenty to talk about. I'll go on back and get the boys quieted down. Virginia City never heard anything like you gave us tonight, Miss Robinson.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Skinner.
Not at all. I'll see you later.
Well, won't you sit down, Mr. Kendall?
Oh, wait a minute. Kendall, you got identification or something? Proving you're a correspondent?
Not on me, no.
I don't think it really matters,
Well, it
James.
does to me. You know what I mean, Kendall. Miss Robinson is popular. A lot of fellas like to come busting in and make any excuse, you know what I mean? I gotta watch out for her interests.
I understand.
And she's kind of tired right now. Why don't you let her go till tomorrow?
If you would rather, Miss Robinson?
No, not at all. I'd rather enjoy being interviewed tonight.
And I say it's not a good idea.
You're being extremely rude, James. Perhaps you'd care to take supper with me, Mr. Kendall.
Why, I'd be delighted.
No.
No?
No, she's not going.
I hope you'll forgive me, Mr. Kendall. He thinks that every man who looks at me is thinking dire and dreadful thoughts.
My intentions are completely honorable, Mr. Grimes.
Lately.
I don't want to discuss it anymore, James. Now, both of you, please wait outside. I must change my clothes. I shan't be a moment, Mr. Kendall.
Listen, Kendall. I'm sorry I acted the way I did, but if I don't keep an eye on her, nobody's going to. You know what I mean?
I think so.
I mean, nothing personal, but as her business manager, I've got to take care of things. Now, she gets awful tired traveling around this way. Best thing for her right now is to go back to the hotel and get some sleep.
As a business manager, Mr. Grimes, I should think you'd be happy to have a newspaper interview.
Oh, sure I am. But you know how these actresses are. They're like kids. They don't even know what's good for them.
I hadn't been aware.
Well, take my word for it. So you go on ahead. Now, I'll tell her you see her tomorrow.
Under the circumstances, I'm afraid she'd think it was rather impolite, don't you? Why not wait until she comes out?
All right. We'll make it tonight. A nice quiet supper at the hotel, 3 of us.
Mr. Grimes, I get the distinct impression that for some reason or other you don't want me to be alone with Miss Robinson. Am I right?
I'm her business manager,
so you said.
and she doesn't talk to anyone unless I'm around.
Strange. I got the impression that she didn't want you around.
I don't care what you think. I'm coming along. If you don't like it, no interview.
There. That didn't take long, did it? Are we ready, Mr. Kendall?
Yes?
Laley, you're going back to the hotel.
Good night,
and...
James. I'll see you in the morning.
We walked down the street to the hotel. She talked about some of her experiences in the territory, rather nervously, I thought, seeming almost deliberately to avoid her background of successes in England. I ordered champagne with dinner, and I could see that rather than making her feel more at ease, the drink only increased her anxiety.
I'm afraid that James is right, Mr. Kendall. I must be tired. Champagne makes me feel quite giddy, but I will have just a tiny drop more.
Of course.
You know, James is very angry with me.
I gathered that.
He's a jealous man. You wouldn't think so, would you? But he is.
I don't think I blame him.
He has no reason to be. We're only business associates. It's not as though we were married or anything. James doesn't believe in marriage. He says it deadens one.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I've never been married. My work hasn't allowed for it.
Did you meet Grimes in England?
Oh, no. No, that was in Boston. He saw me perform and asked to represent my interests.
I see.
Oh, he'll be very angry about this. Me being with you tonight.
May I ask you something?
Please.
Why are you afraid of him?
Afraid? Oh, afraid of James? How utterly ridiculous. Does it show so very clearly?
Yes.
May I have some more champagne? You know I'm not English, don't you?
Yes.
I never played with Henry Irving. Never saw England. Never did any of the things they say I did.
I didn't think so.
By appointment to Her Majesty. James thought that sounded fine. He took it from a bottle of Scotch whiskey. Do you know what I am, Mr. Kendall? I'm a liar. My whole life is a lie. I'm not even a good actress.
I was completely charmed by your performance.
How sweet. How gentlemanly and nice you are. Mr. Kendall, you're terribly attractive. You're the most attractive man I've ever met. No, that's not true. My husband was the most attractive man. You see, I lied about that, too.
You are married.
I was. James is always afraid I'll tell someone.
Why?
Well, the marriage didn't end very nicely.
Why do you tell me?
Too much champagne.
I don't think so.
I'm tired, then. I wish I could cry. Do you know, Mr. Kendall, I haven't been able to cry for 3 years. And there are so many tears.
The shots had come from outside. Just for a moment, I saw a shadowy figure at the broken window. Then it was gone in the night. Miss Robinson was lying on the floor. A thin line of blood ran from the corner of her mouth. She was unconscious.
In a moment, we return to Frontier Gentlemen. Today on CBS Radio's Suspense, Vanessa Brown and Jim Amici will co-star in Affair at Loveland Pass, a Western thriller with a psychological twist. Exciting dramas waiting for you, too, on yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Join us on most of these same stations later today as action-packed stories come your way on CBS Radio's Suspense and yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And now we return you to the Anthony Ellis production of Frontier Gentlemen.
I just heard. Who did it?
I'm not sure, Mr. Skinner.
The doctor's on his way. Ought to be here in a few minutes. Oh, she doesn't look good.
I think the bleeding stopped.
Boys down in the saloon are mad. Word's got around here in a lynching mood. Sheriff's trying to ease them down.
Mr. Skinner, was Mr. Grimes there?
I didn't see him.
I just wondered.
I guess he ought to be told. He's staying down the Nugget Hotel.
Yes, it might be a good idea.
Well, I'll go on down myself. Now, listen, Mr. Kendall. If there's anything she needs, you sing out. Anything at all. One of my boys will be outside. You just say the word.
Right.
I'll be back.
What a strange feeling.
Miss Robinson,
No pain at all. I've always thought there would be.
the doctor is coming.
I don't really mind, you know.
Don't talk.
Funny. I never believed him. He always threatened to do something like this.
Dr. Todd, where's the wound, please?
Oh,
Kindly wait outside, sir.
Yes.
I'm Dave. Skinner told me to wait. What's the doc say?
Nothing yet.
I'd sure like to get my hands on that feller that done it.
Yeah. I imagine a lot of us would.
She's a lady. A fine lady. Not like them hurdy-gurdies around here. It don't matter. One of them stops a piece of lead. She real bad hurt?
Pretty bad.
You figure it was some crazy liquored up son of a gun, don't you?
I don't know if he was drunk or not.
I mean the fellas would come to see how the lady is.
We don't know yet.
There's more downstairs. We just wanted to know we're going to get the son of a gun to Dry Gulch, sir. Doc Todd come yet?
He's in there now.
Well, you give him this. There's $300 of better gold dust than that. You tell Doc he pulls her through, he'll get another like it. The boys wanted to know they're with her.
Sure do.
I'll tell her.
You do that.
I got a couple of dollars. That goes for me, too. Give it to the doc.
I will.
I can't operate yet. She's lost too much blood.
She gonna be all right, huh, Doc?
Don't ask fool questions, boy. I'm not God. Right now, she's asleep. Well, you're Kendall, aren't you?
Yes.
Lucky for her you were around. If she'd lost any more blood, she'd be dead. Well, you might as well get some shut-eye. I'll stay with her.
I left the hotel and went out into the street. There were 50 or 60 men standing about, quietly, waiting. I told them all that I knew. Then I saw Mr. Skinner hurrying up. He motioned to me, and we walked away from the crowd.
Grimes. Couldn't find him.
Oh?
Hotel clerk said he hadn't seen him all night. Now, I've been thinking. Is there something wrong between these two? I heard arguing this afternoon in her dressing room over at the saloon. I didn't think anything of it then, but with this...
I think we'd better find him, Mr. Skinner.
He did it?
I don't know, but it's possible.
I'll get some of the boys.
No.
What's the matter? You a friend of his? You trying to protect him?
Neither one, but all they need is an excuse. If they even suspect someone, they'll hang him. I prefer things more legal.
He's a killer. We've handled that kind before in Virginia City.
Miss Robinson is not dead. No, what I suggest is that you talk to some of the men who aren't likely to take matters into their own hands. Tell them we're trying to find Grimes. If he doesn't know what's happened to Miss Robinson, they can bring him back here.
Then what?
We'll let the sheriff handle it.
All right. But I'll tell you, Kendall, if he puts up a fight, I want to be there. It'll be a pleasure to shoot him.
The search began. At first, only a handful picked by Skinner knew what they were looking for. But the word spread, and with it, rumor. Grimes was the man. Grimes had done it. In an hour, every man who knew or cared about what had happened was a hunter. The quarry, innocent or guilty, was James Grimes. And it was obvious that if found, he'd have very little chance of standing trial. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, I returned to Miss Robinson's room. Any change, Doctor?
No. They get the fellow that did it?
Not yet.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? How come a man would want to kill a woman like this? She's the way I remember a woman should be.
Why don't you get a cup of coffee, Doctor? I'll stay with her until you come back.
I think I will. Stretch my legs a minute.
Turn around, Kendall. Don't move.
You look a little worse for wear, Grimes.
Well, they're after me. They're trying to kill me.
Any reason why they shouldn't?
Is she dead?
No.
I warned her. I've been warning her what had happened.
Put away the gun.
And get myself killed?
You'll be safer with me than the mob outside.
You're the trouble, the reason for everything. It's been men like you everywhere we go. Every town she has to find someone. I warned her. I told her I wasn't going to stand it any longer.
And I heard a different reason.
A different reason? What did she tell you?
About her husband. An unhappy marriage.
She said that? Told you about her husband?
Yes.
You want to know what really happened? She had a husband, all right. In Boston. I didn't know it at the time. I met her. I fell in love. She went away with me. After we were married, she told me.
She is your wife?
Surprising? Look at her. It's another one of her little ways. She thinks it's better if people don't know. She thinks I don't know why she wants it that way. I guess you could say we killed her husband. He committed suicide after she left him. Oh, you don't know. You don't know what it's been like. But I told her what I'd do if she went after another man.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter anymore. I hope she dies, then I won't have to feel these things.
If she dies, they'll hang you.
Yeah.
James?
Laylee. I'm sorry, Laylee.
Such a jealous boy. I never meant anything.
Don't, Laylee.
I like to flirt. That's all. A woman likes to flirt. It doesn't mean anything. Mr. Kendall knows that.
Can't you stop acting? Even now, can't you stop?
Listen to him, Mr. Kendall. Has he been telling you what a terrible woman I am? I suppose it's true. But you're not much of a man, James.
Laylee.
You don't have to listen to this, Grimes.
Kill her.
Come outside.
Kill
No,
her.
you don't. Give me the gun.
Laylee.
She's dead.
Give me my gun.
I can't. You'll get a trial. Perhaps they'll understand.
There'll be no trial.
Now, Grimes, come back. Grimes! Grimes! I think I was rather glad I hadn't stopped Grimes when he went through the window. They killed him. But in this case, perhaps it was better than a public trial and hanging. Miss Eulalia Robinson and James Grimes were buried side by side in Virginia City, Montana Territory.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Jeanette Nolan, Larry Dobkin, Harry Bartell, Jack Moyles, and Jim Nusser. Music was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Now stay tuned for the Ford Road Show, to be followed by the CBS News over most of these same stations. Join us again next week for another report from the Frontier Gentleman. John Wall speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
At Deer Lodge in Montana Territory, I met a very unusual young lady. Her Chinese name was Chen Shuk Yi, which in English means gentle virtue. This is her story.
Frontier Gentleman. Herewith an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. In just 1 minute, we will bring you this latest report from the Frontier Gentleman.
Hey, what do you think of my new Swept Wing 58 Dodge, Ernie? Ain't she a beaut?
Boy, that's really a big car.
Big? I'll say she's big. I'll stay here by the grill, and you go take a look at those swept wing fins at the rear.
Okay. This is the longest, lowest car
Come on back by the door. I'll show you the inside.
Okay.
Now look inside.
Wow, this Dodge is big inside.
Look how wide the seats are.
Who are those people in here?
The neighbors. I'm charging them $1 an hour to sit there. Come on.
Wow, you really got a lot of car here.
And with all this, Dodge is priced below 59 different models of the low price field. Hey, you want to go for a ride?
Let me sit down a minute. I'm exhausted.
Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
In Montana Territory, there is a mining town which has been known variously as Cottonwood, Spanish Forks, and La Barge. Now it is simply called Deer Lodge. I had stopped there on my way back to Fort Benton, and it was in Deer Lodge that I was for the first time introduced to the card game of poker. It all began innocently enough after I struck up a friendship with Billy Moore, a prospect.
That's friendly, cuss, ain't it? Them blue chips is worth $5, Kendall. The red's 2, the white's 1.
My card deals. King, Jack, 8, 4. Your deal, Kendall.
Hmm? Oh, yes.
Dole the cards, boy.
5.
5.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Something the matter?
In these parts, we cut the cards, mister.
He's kind of... He don't mean no harm. I'll cut him. Dole him around, kid.
Never did cut and playing with a greenhorn.
Sorry.
Oh, just deal, mister.
Open. $1.
Call.
Raise $1.
No, thank you.
Not for me, neither.
I got a feeling you're telling a windy turkey. I'll see you. Give me 3 cards, Kendall.
I'll take 2.
Billy won the first hand and the second. I played very carefully, and at the end of an hour was about $5 to the good. I could see that Turkey Johnson resented both me and my playing, even more so because he was losing. His temper slowly deteriorated with the quality of his cards. Then the door opened, and a small, pigtailed Chinese gentleman walked in. He had an ageless face, impassive.
Hey, you! I didn't think you'd be coming tonight. Light and rest saddled. This is J.B. Kendall. He's from England.
Mr. Kendall, I am honored.
Is it Mr. Yu?
Yes.
How do you do, sir?
Good evening, Mr. Deggars, Mr. Johnson.
All right, come on. Come on, Moore, it's your deal.
I know it.
Well, deal.
Chips, please, Mr. Johnson. $50.
You keeps a string of burros, sells them or rents them. Orneriest critters you ever see.
Very intelligent. Very noble animals.
How's that pretty girl of yours, you? Ain't seen her around.
He keeps her hid from the likes of us, huh? You ought to see her, Kendall. Real nice little filly.
Is your daughter, Mr. Yu?
Oh, no, daughter, no. She's girl from Hong Kong. She helps me with business.
Talk. It's your play, Kendall.
I'll open for $1. Mr. Yu proved to be an astute but unlucky player, and Johnson began to win. For the next 2 hours, the game seesawed back and forth, and after that it became obvious that unless there was a startling change, the big winner would be Johnson. The loser, Mr. Yu. Billy, Neil Deggers, and myself were about even. Then an extraordinary thing happened. I found myself at the end of a draw, sitting with 3 aces and 2 queens. The betting was up to Neil Deggers. At that time, there was $50 on the table.
2.
No, I'm folding.
2, and I raise 3.
Yeah. Hey, this is a big one, huh? All right, boys. I'm calling and raising 5 of my own.
You take it easy, Kendall.
Shut your mouth, Moore. Ain't no side playing this game.
Now, don't get riled,
I ain't
Turkey.
riled. Just keep your mouth shut.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Just give me a moment. Very well. I'll call. $10.
Kendall, you know it's going to be a pleasure to make you holler calf rope. Ain't going to be no beginner's luck in this game.
Your play, Mr. Yu.
And 25.
Sure am glad I'm out of this one. You're 25 and up 25.
Kendall, you better get out.
Son of a gun, I'm saying for the last time, Moore, you shut your mouth.
Now, listen, Turkey, he's a friend of mine.
Mr. Johnson's, he's quite right, Billy. I'd like to buy some more chips, please. 100.
Well, what's your play, mister?
It'll cost you 50. You better not...
50.
Man, you ain't going to have enough left to dust your fiddle.
50 and raise 50.
What? There's near 300 in there.
Yeah, so there is.
I got the deadwood on you boys, but you keep her getting fat. I ain't grumbling. You're 50, you, and my 50.
It's another 100, Kendall.
Yes. I see. All right. I call.
Mr. Turkey, there is $500. I am now without money. Still, I wish to call you back.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe you can get a loan, huh?
I know
There seem to be only two kinds of people in Montana Territory, the good and the bad. Sometimes it's hard to tell which is which.
Frontier Gentlemen. Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentlemen.
Back to Fort Benton on the Missouri River when I reached Helena. There I was lucky enough to receive an offer of transportation in a wagon. So I sold my horse and we set out on the Mullen Road. My companion, or bullwhacker as he called himself, was a leathery, stringy chap who might have been 50 or 70. It was hard to tell. His name was George Scales, and he seemed more than happy to have someone to talk to.
Yes, sir. I was one of the first out of the California gold rush. Went out with my father in 49. How old did you figure I am, boy?
Well,
58. 58. Wouldn't think it, would you?
Well,
58. Never had a sick day in my life. Been married 3 times, buried 2. The third got took by Apaches down in Arizona Territory. I pitied the poor son of a gun Indian that hooked up with her. Boy, she was the meanest piece of calico you ever set eyes on. It was a lucky day for me. Are you married?
No.
You take my advice, boy. What'd you say your name was?
Kendall.
Kendall. You ain't kin to the Brown County, Texas Kendalls, are you?
No.
Well, come to think of it, their name wasn't Kendall, it was Pridgeon. Now, how come you figure I misremembered that? What was we talking about?
I'm not quite sure.
Now, you take my father. 86 years old 2 weeks back. I'm taking him home to bury him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, anything for sorrow. All got to go up Salt River sometime. Old Buzzard's been out in California better than 30 years. That ain't no place for a man to sack his saddle, so last trip out I said, Paul, I got to take you back to Kentucky, because when you bite the dust, it ain't fit to do it in this here place. That's what I said.
I see.
Well, we got us a place in Kentucky. Figure he ought to rest comfortable there.
Oh, did he die on the way from California?
If he did, since you got on back in Helena, the old buzzard ain't dead yet. He's asleep in the wagon.
Oh.
Eats and sleeps. Ain't much else to do, I guess. Old buzzard, deep as a post. When he wakes up, you just say hello, smile at him, and he'll think that's just fine, just fine. Oh, you want a chaw?
No, thank you.
You don't talk much, do you?
No, I suppose not.
What's your business?
I'm a newspaper correspondent.
Writer?
Yes.
Newspaper feller, huh?
Yes, that's right.
Oh. Had me a run-in with one of your kind back in 62, maybe 63. I was a mule skinner with Major McCleve down in Apache country. You ever been down there?
No.
Mean, surely mean country. Ain't fitting for nothing.
Hey, Johnny?
Hey, the old buzzard woke up. Everything's fine, Paul.
I'm happy.
Oh, you ain't never nothing but, Paul. Got a way to go yet, Paul. Hey, this here's Mr. Kendall. He got on in Helena.
How do you do, Mr. Scales?
Don't matter what you say, just talking loud.
Yes. I understand you're going back to Kentucky. What is he saying?
There's no telling. You go on back to sleep, you old buzzard. I'll tell you when it's time to eat. He's going to do it. Guess he didn't like you.
Oh?
Paul meets a stranger, he'll chop your ear off. Talkingest man I ever seen. If he don't take you, he does what I tell him. I get an order, he'll keep his mouth shut now till you get off in Benton.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no cause, mister. Man can't help what he is. If I just hope you ain't like that sheep-killing dog of a newspaper feller I was telling you about. I sure did sharpen my hoe on him.
Well, whatever he did, I assure you I'll be very careful not to make the same mistake.
Newspaper feller.
At midday, we stopped for our meal. Scales, Senior, and Junior kept up an extraordinary conversation, during which time I was completely ignored. The pair reminded me a little of Dickensian characters, a certain gentleman and his aged parent. After his food, the aged parent clambered back into the wagon and presumably went back to sleep as we continued on our way. An offering of tobacco mellowed Scales somewhat, and I felt that possibly I might be forgiven for my sin by association. It was late that afternoon when we saw the three riders. They were halted by the side of the road.
When you know how to use that gun of yours, Kenner, you better be ready to reach.
You think they're outlaws?
Man's bone seasoned. He don't take chances, not in these parts.
Looks as though one of them is hurt.
Well, that's a fact. And, well, I'll be a whey-belly stump sucker. A woman. One's a woman. Look at that. If that don't beat all. Whoa! Whoa there! Whoa! Hey, you got trouble?
Haven't got any medicines, have you?
No, got some whiskey.
It's my husband. He's hurt kind of bad.
It ain't nothing, I tell you, Dora. Just let me rest a while. We'll get on.
You ain't gonna make it, Bill.
Shut up. Mister, I'll buy your whiskey. That'll fix me.
No such thing. It isn't whiskey you need. Either of you gents know about doctrine?
No, ma'am.
I know a little, not much.
Let him take a look, Bill. Jack, here, come on. Give him a hand down.
You know, Kendall, I got a feeling I know that feller. I've seen him, but I ain't sure where.
Why don't you bring the whiskey out, Mr. Scales? He looks as if he can use it.
All right.
Here, get your jacket off,
Easy,
Bill.
woman. Now take it easy.
Oh, man, that sure looks wicked. You better sit down. There's the rock over there. Come along. When did it happen?
3 days ago.
Did you get the bullet out?
No.
I'm all right, I tell you. Just let me rest.
You're not all right. That's gangrene, the shoulder and arm. There's a doctor in Helena. It won't take you more than 3 hours to get there.
We ain't going to Helena, mister. We're going to Fort Benton.
But that's over 100 miles. You've already got a fever. If I were you,
You ain't me.
Oh, Bill, he's right. Now, please, let's go back.
No.
I think I could remove the bullet, but that won't help.
You ain't no doctor. Hey, pour some of this panther juice in your gizzard. Cure everything from the rattles to... No. Ain't gonna cure that.
Give me the bottle. Take a good big slug, Bill.
Hey, don't I know him someplace?
Not likely to, mister.
I ain't never forgot a face. I swear I seen his. Mind if I ask your name? I'm obliged for your whiskey. Now, we'll be moving on.
Oh, Bill, what good is it going to be? You're sick. You can't ride all that way. I do like he said.
Dora, you heard what I said. Come on.
Oh, Bill!
He fainted. We carried him to the wagon, put him inside. The aged parent woke up, smiled pleasantly at the newcomers, and watched with interest as the wife and the one called Jack did what they could to make the wounded man comfortable. I felt a tug at my sleeve. Scales drew me away from the wagon.
I know him, I remember. I know who he is. I'll never forget a man's face. Only difference now, he ain't got that mustache he used to wear. The Powder River Kid, Bill Logan, that's who. Oh, ain't you got no savvy? The Powder River Kid. He's wanted in more territories than even the James boys. Oh, I've seen the posters. There's $2,000 reward for him, dead or alive. Well, what do you say? Make pretty good sharings, huh? Muy dinero, 1,000 for you, 1,000 for me.
Of course, his wife and his friend might have something to say about that.
Then we shoot him. Sure, shoot him now, and then we take the kid on into Benton and collect.
I don't think he'll live that long, not without a doctor.
Who's talking about alive? Posters say live or dead. Come to think of it, we would be better off if we shot him. Might save a sack full of trouble. I seen him draw once, down in Virginia City it was. He fanned 2 men down so quick he had his gun back in the holster before they hit the girl.
Mister?
Yes, coming.
Hey, other feller's getting out of the wagon, too. We going to kill him?
No.
He's still unconscious. Mister, you said you could take out the bullet. Maybe it'd do some good.
There's too much poison. He's got one chance, and that's to take him back to Helena.
This your wagon, Mr. Kendall?
No, ma'am, it's mine, George Scales.
Mr. Scales, I'll pay you $200 if you'll turn around. Take us back to Helena.
Well, now, that's a mighty attractive offer.
I don't know, Dory. Bill said...
I don't care what he said. Right now he's dying.
No, I ain't. Mister, my wife offers you $200 to take me back to Helena. You let me rest a while in your wagon till I'm fit to ride the other way. I'll make it $300. That's fair. Yes, sir, that's a fair deal. I'll do that. Make yourself to home. The old buzzard's my paw. If he talks at you too much, just blare good and loud. Go to sleep, you old buzzard. You ride in here with me, Dory. Jack, stay on your horse.
Sure, Bill. Just take it easy.
All right, boys, let's bounce. Be getting some rain by and by.
Yes. Might be an idea to camp pretty soon.
Bet the Powder River kid thinks so. This trail ain't the softest. Hey, how long you figure till he hangs up his axe?
I don't know. But I wouldn't worry about it.
I ain't worrying. I've been doing some thinking. How come you suppose he don't want to go back to Helena?
Somebody's after him, I imagine.
That's my guess. If somebody's a U.S. Marshal and that Marshal finds him before the kid dies, you figure maybe we'll have to cut another share on the reward?
Fine legal point.
Well, I ain't going to worry. Dark coming on. There's a likely looking clearing up the road. Yeah, I got to feed the old buzzard. Hiya! Hiya! Yeah! Fire!
After the supper, I walked away from the camp to a rise overlooking the Missouri. There were flashes of lightning in the east, and you could see the outline of heavy, black clouds. But there hadn't been any rain yet. I stood for about 10 minutes smoking my pipe. Then I heard steps behind me.
Scales said you come up this way.
How's your husband?
Oh, I think the fever's worse. Will he make it?
I'm not a doctor.
You don't have to be.
You should have gone back to Helena.
He couldn't. He was afraid to. Scales knows who he is, doesn't he? You know.
Yes.
There's been a marshal trailing us for 6 months. He caught up with Bill in Helena. My brother Jack helped him get away, and we hid out in town for 3 days.
Well, why didn't you get a doctor?
Oh, he wouldn't let us. There's a reward. Bill was afraid a doctor'd try and collect. Just like your friend wants to.
He is pretty obvious, isn't he?
Oh, man's luck runs out. Coyotes started snapping for the leavings. Me and Bill was on our way to Benton before the marshal caught up with him. We figured on going back east.
Were you and your brother both working with Logan?
No. And Bill hasn't done anything wrong since we was married. Mr. Kendall, I'll tell you a straight thing. I haven't been what a man like you'd call a decent woman. Most of my life, I've been a wild one. But not since Bill.
I wish I could help Mrs. Logan.
I really come to ask you to... I saw it done once before with a man's leg that got like Bill's arm. They cut it off.
Yes, I thought of that. It's too late. The poison's in his shoulder. It wouldn't do any good. I'm sorry.
A preacher out in Utah married us. He'd never heard of the Powder River Kid. He thought we was nice folks. Well, I better get back to the camp.
I went with her. Jack was with Logan in the wagon. Scales' father was sitting on his haunches by the campfire, sucking on a piece of root candy and whittling a sliver of wood. He rocked back and forth, humming to himself. Scales leaned against a tree, ruminating on a piece of tobacco. He beckoned to me.
What'd she want?
She wanted me to cut off his arm.
That's a woman for you. You aim to do it?
No, wouldn't do any good. Probably kill him.
You sure wouldn't think he was a gunslinger, would you? Not now, you wouldn't. Sick and whimpering like a dying pup.
Do you think we could go on tonight?
Not on this trail. With the rains coming, no, sir. Besides, the old buzzard don't like traveling in the dark. Yeah, hope he don't keep that up all night. None of us will get any shut-eye.
Now lie back. Lie back, honey. It'll be better.
Anything I can do, Jack?
Now, Billy, come.
No. He's sick to the head right now. Don't even know Dory.
Honey, don't.
Dory says you know about us. We figured so. I think you're all right, Kendall. My sister does, too. But I want to tell you not to start thinking about that reward.
A few minutes later, it began to rain, and continued intermittently all through the night. But the dawn was clear and bright. It took the combined efforts of oxen, horses, and men to take the wagon back onto the trail. The wheels had sunk nearly hub-deep in mud. But as the sun rose, we were on our way northward again. Bill Logan was no longer delirious, but in the grayness of his face, I knew that he didn't have long to live. It was during the early afternoon that his wife called out to me.
Mr. Kendall?
Yes?
Will you come back a minute?
All right. Maybe he's dead, huh?
Maybe.
He wants to talk to you.
Sorry, go on up with that bullwhacker. What I got to say is private.
Make him stay quiet.
Come over closer, will you? Is the old man asleep?
Yes.
Now, listen, I'm finished. I ain't a doctor. Nothing gonna help me now. I'm feeling. Now, I never asked a favor. No man in my life. I'm asking one now.
What is it?
There's a reward for me. It ain't much, only $2,000, but it means something for Dory. I ain't gonna pay no reward for a man that's died natural like. Or if they do like us, now they go to that Marshall fella for starting me off. I want you to fix it so Dory can get it.
Well, how?
He filled me full of lead.
Shoot you?
Yeah, shoot me.
No.
I trust you. You see, I trust you to give the money to Dory.
You're out of your head.
No, mister. I ain't last night, but not now. It's the best I can do for her. She's a good woman. Now, let me give her something so she don't have to go back to what she was.
I can't kill you.
You got a right to. Look, I'm wanted, Kendall. I've done more killings than I can remember. It ain't a wrong thing for you to do. You could say I was trying to escape.
No, I can't.
If not drawn,
it doesn't make any difference. We both know you wouldn't shoot. I'm sorry. I don't think he felt very much pain after that. He just drank Scales' whiskey and talked quietly to his wife. He died just before the sun went down.
I guess he's dead now.
I think so.
You figure she'll want to take him into Benton or bury him out here?
I don't know.
Sure does seem a shame and a sin to see that reward go up in smoke.
Perhaps it doesn't have to.
How do you mean? How come?
I could ride back to Helena. Wouldn't take more than a few hours.
What good did that do?
Well, I'd take him back with me.
Yeah?
All you have to do is to see that they don't try to stop me.
Listen, boy, for $1,000, nobody's going to stop you. The old buzzard's still spry enough to hold a gun. I just have to tell him who to point it at is all. Hey, how do I know you come back?
Well, I imagine you'll just have to take my word for it.
Ain't never trusted a newspaper feller yet, but I guess there ain't no choice.
I give you my word of honor. I'll come back.
All right. Oh, curry's in there, too. Why, ain't going to be nothing to it. All right, Curry, you keep your hands high. Both if you get over to the other side of the wagon. The Powder River kid's going back to Helena.
Scales shouted instructions to his father, who disarmed the dead man and Curry, then held a gun steady, a smile on his old face, head nodding approvingly. I took Logan's body out of the wagon and tied it onto a horse. Just before I rode away, I saw Mrs. Logan watching me, crying. A soundless, terrible cry. I must have traveled 10 miles in the night before I found the courage to do what I had to do. I led the horses off the road, tethered them, and took down Logan's body. He looked peaceful. Forgive me, Logan. I delivered the body to the marshal in Helena and collected $2,000 reward for the capture and killing of little Logan, alias the Powder River Kid. Then I took the horses and rode back to where I'd left the wagon.
Did you get it, boy? Did you get the money?
I got it.
One of these days, I'm going to catch up with you, mister.
Get on your horse. You too, Mrs. Logan. Go on.
One of these days.
That was fine, boy. Fine. Now, come on. Let's divvy up.
Afraid not, Mr. Scales. I've got some bad news for you. You are getting nothing.
What?
Exactly. Drop your gun, or the old buzzard's going to lose his son.
Oh. I might have known. Just like the other one. A stinking, no good, low down
Goodbye,
paper
Mr.
collar.
Scales. It's been a most unpleasant association. I took Logan's horse and caught up with Mrs. Logan and her brother a little further along the Mullen Road. I gave her the $2,000, and together we rode on into Fort Benton, Montana Territory.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Joe Kearns, Paula Winslow, Larry Dobkin, Barney Phillips, and Robert Roudier. Music was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Frontier Gentleman has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
I attended a murder trial in Fort Benton, Montana Territory. To say that it was unusual is putting it mildly.
Dear gentlemen. Herewith an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. What is a man with a gun? He lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
Since I'd left it 5 weeks earlier, except perhaps for one thing. It was spring now. You could feel it in the streets, smell it in the sun-warm air. I walked up to the little building that housed the Fort Benton Dispatch, a newspaper run by John Warren, whom I had met during my last visit. Outside, a group of men were standing about, peering through the windows. I thought that they looked at me rather strangely when I went inside, and it only took a moment to see why. The newspaper editor, Mr. Warren, sat pale-faced, looking at a rather fierce individual who stood a few feet away from him, wearing 2 pistols and cradling a shotgun in his arms.
Mr. Kendall.
Well, how are you, Mr. Warren? Am I interrupting?
No. Sit down. This is George McCune, J.B. Kendall.
Howdy.
Mr. McCune?
That's right. What are you, deputy or something?
No.
Mr. Kendall's a newspaper man, writes for the London Times.
Oh, is that right? Huh. Well, what do you say, Warren?
Well, it's the way I told you. I'm not a lawyer. I might do you more harm than good.
You're going to be like them others, huh?
It's not that, but Clint Wallace is a smart man. He knows the law.
That there Wallace is a no-good son of a gun. If he tries any of them smart lawyer tricks on me, I'm going to salivate him right through his fat gizzard.
Wallace is prosecuting McCune for the murder of Jack Furlong.
I see.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something right here now. I didn't shoot that lily-livered cutback of a ruptured hog nohow. Not that I ain't saying whoever done oughtn't to get a medal.
I'm inclined to believe him, Kendall. The trouble is, there's not a lawyer in town to take his case.
Now, I'm willing to face up to what them Furlong says I done if I get a fair trial. But I've seen what that outlawyer Wallace can do with his fancy twisting words. He got me hung right now.
Do you mind my asking, haven't you been arrested?
Well, sure, I've been arrested. How come you think I'm still in Benton?
I mean, isn't it usual for a suspect to be in jail?
Look, there ain't nobody going to put me in the calaboose, especially for something I ain't done, not nohow. Ain't a man in Benton big enough to try it.
Why do they suspect you?
Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because that eyeballer Buck Furlong, him and that cow critter wife of his, they got it in for me ever since I whooped Buck's brother Jack in a poker game. That's why. I cleaned him out. And he swore he'd get even with me. The whole blame family's been going around Benton saying I gouged Jack in the game. Me, gouge you. I ain't never cheated in cards all my born days.
Well, do they have any proof, that it was you?
They ain't got nothing.
There's a mule skinner in town, Ike Dawlish. He says he saw McCune arguing with Jack Furlong a few minutes before the shooting.
That fella Dawlish, he herded one band of sheep too many. You know, that fella's plumb loco. Everybody around here knows that, except they take his word because they got it in for me. Shucks, I was up the other end of town sleeping off a belly full of popskull when it happened.
Anybody see you?
Well, if they did, they ain't coming up to say so.
When did it happen, the shooting?
Well, it was about 2 nights back. First I heard of it was the next morning. That Marshal O'Connor, he come up to me, he says, McCune, I got to arrest you for the murder of Jack Furlong. Well, sir, I says to him, Marshal, I hear tell you like to talk a windy. Don't you try it on me this morning, because I got a head on me. It's give me the orcs. Well, sir, he comes back at me and he says, I ain't lying, McCune. You've been identified as a murderer. You'll have to come down to jail with me. And I says, you must be seeing black, O'Connor. If you think I'm going to do any such thing and you try and draw on me, I'll be happy to swap shots with you. But I ain't going to pull freight out of here if that's what's worrying you. I'm an innocent man, and you're going to have to prove me otherwise.
The trouble is, like I keep telling you, McCune, you're the one who's going to have to prove otherwise. They've got the witness.
Oh, why can't you get a lawyer to defend you, Mr. McCune?
Well, sir, now I'll tell you why. Because that there Buck Furlong's wife, Maggie, is Barry's daughter, that's why. And Dad Barry's the justice of the peace, and there ain't no lawyer with stuffings enough to stand up again that old whistling britches.
That does make it rather awkward.
You know something? It ain't right nor fitting in these times that a man can be telling the truth and no one believe him. Now, look, Warren, you ain't afeard of that Dad Barry, are you?
You know I'm not.
Well, then I'll pay you 100 in silver if you talk for me.
I'd like to, McCune, but...
All right. You don't have to say no more. I'm walking me up to the trial house, and I'm going in and let them say what they want, and then I'm walking out. And the first man tries to stop me, he's going to get lead poison. Well, what do you want, O'Connor?
George McCune is marshal of this here town, and authority vested in me.
O'Connor, come on, talk horse. What you want?
I got to take you down for the trial, McCune. I'm asking you polite-like to give up your gun.
I'm going to go with you, O'Connor, because you got a duty. But if you think I'm giving up my sixers of this here goose gun, you don't know no more than a mule-eared rabbit. Now, let's rattle hocks out of here.
You know, I feel sorry for him, but I'm glad to see him out of here. He's been with me for better than 2 hours, Kendall.
Yes, I can see where he could be quite persuasive.
You know, I wasn't kidding. If I'd have thought I could help him, I would. But I'm no good at public speaking and never was. Break out all of a sweat. He'll do better alone.
Who is he?
Oh, McEwen, he used to be an Indian scout with Crook. Hadn't been able to forget his ways. He's a tough man and likes folks to know it. That's why even if he didn't kill Furlong, most everybody figures he did, the jury will, too.
You don't think so?
No. No, he wouldn't have stayed around for the trial if he had. Besides, he wouldn't have killed a man like Jack Furlong. He'd have got more fun out of stomping his head in. I knew Furlong, his scroungy little toad, always fooling around with women. Somebody else's if he could.
What'll happen if the jury finds McEwen guilty?
I don't know. There'll be trouble, though.
It seems a bit unfair, doesn't it?
Well, sure it is. But what are you going to do?
You know, as an outsider, I might be able to defend McEwen.
Do you know anything about the law?
I know some pretty important words. That might help. And I have the feeling that McEwen's telling the truth.
I don't know about old Dad Barry, though. If he doesn't admit you to court, there's nothing you can do.
I think he will. Let's go and talk to McEwen. When we arrived at the saloon, it was already half full. The accused man was sitting in a small storeroom drinking a glass of beer, his gun still very much in evidence. Marshal O'Connor stood in the entranceway trying to appear as though he were guarding his prisoner, although he seemed extremely nervous and was obviously unhappy with his job. He didn't want us to talk to McEwen.
I'm sorry, Mr. Warren. I can't let either of you gentlemen in to see him.
We're his legal counsel, O'Connor.
O'Connor, you let him pass by or I'm going to come out.
You said you ain't got no lawyer, McEwen.
He's got one now.
Don't give me no trouble, O'Connor. I ain't in the mood. All right, close the door, O'Connor. Well, I see you changed your mind, Warren. I'm real grateful to you.
It's not me, McEwen. It's Mr. Kendall. He's going to talk for you.
How come?
I heard what you had to say. I think there's a good chance you're innocent.
Are you a lawyer?
No, but I know something about law. Probably as much as Mr. Warren.
Uh-huh. How much you figure on getting paid?
Well, if we win, what you would have paid Warren. If we lose, no. It won't matter.
Yeah. All right. All right, you got yourself a deal. But I want to tell you something, Kendall. If they call me guilty, you better duck, because it's going to be the ding-dangest shoot-up you ever saw in Benton.
The saloon courtroom was full. The judicial bench was the counter, and whiskey barrels set up on end in front of it served as the legal bar. 12 good men and true sat at tables placed to the side in a row. They were highly conscious of their importance to the community, and only 4 were taking advantage of the convenience of whiskey close at hand. Windows and doors stood open for the comfort of those inside who might feel the spring warmth, and for the accommodation of those crowded outside, unable to obtain even standing room. At 1 o'clock, court was called to order, the clerk hammering on the bar with the butt of his whip.
We got a case coming up in this here courtroom on account of George McEwen bushwhacked Jack Furlong, and he's going to get tried for it. Now, everybody get up in the cloud knockers, because here's his honor, Dad Barry, who's the judge of this here murder.
All right, everybody set. Court's in session, and I aim to state this ain't going to be no box social, so don't nobody forget it. Clint Wallace.
Right here, Your Honor.
You ready to prosecute?
I'm ready, Your Honor.
How about the defense?
The defense is ready.
Who are you?
J.B. Kendall. I've been retained as barrister to plead the case for my client, George McEwen.
You one of them traveling lawyers?
No, sir.
You got papers allowing you to talk in the territory of Montana?
No, sir.
Then sit down.
Well, I submit, Your Honor, that Mr. McEwen has a right to be heard. and is within those rights to call whomsoever he chooses to speak for him. He has chosen me. A prima facie rule of law. Phipps versus Mahoney, Newgate, 1803.
What's he talking about, Clausen?
Well, it sounds like law talk to me, Your Honor.
Give me that legal book. Well, I ain't going to hold up this trial whittle-whanging with you, mister. Ipso facto. So don't go trying any jackleg stuff with me, or by ziggity, I'll fine you for contempt of this here judicial court. You savvy? Bring in the prisoner.
I'll bring in George McHugh. Ain't nobody bringing me in. I'll bring him my own self.
Marshal, this hombre's on trial for murder. What's he doing with them shooting irons and the shotgun?
McCune, you better give me them guns.
I ain't giving you nothing. Marshal, hear what I say? Take them weapons off and him.
Hey, Your Honor. Now, I got a big respect for things legal. That's how come I'm here. But if anybody tries to take my sixes, there's going to be a mess of trouble. These here weapons is to protect myself.
Marshal, I'm telling you.
Dad, you want them guns, you go get them yourself.
What are you objecting about, Clint? Ain't your court. I'll get on with the trial.
Gentlemen of the jury, we're going to prove that George McHugh did with malice and plain ornery covetousness killed poor old Jack Furlong on Thursday last at 9:30 o'clock.
The way she's carrying on, you'd think she was married to Jack instead of Buck.
We will prove that the killer McHugh did take...
Objection.
What's the objection, mister?
The learned counsel refers to my client as a killer. This has yet to be proved in trial.
Ain't no call to object. Go ahead, Clint.
The killer, McHugh, did take a .45 and blew 2 holes in said deceased Jack Furlong. It killed him. We got witnesses to say how it happened. That's all, Your Honor.
All right. Hey, you. What's your name?
Kendall.
Yeah. Well, go on and make your speech.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury, I shall not take up your time with a verbose statement. I will only say that when the trial is at an end, you, the peers of George McHugh, will send him from this courtroom a free man, exonerated of any complicity in this crime.
Well, what does it mean by that? Clint, call the first witness.
I call Buck Furlong, the dead man's poor brother, to the stand.
Now, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you?
Sure.
Well, tell what your name is, Buck.
Shucks, you know my name, Slauson.
Now, Buck, this here's a court of law. We got to do things right. State your name.
Buck Furlong.
Oh, Mr. Furlong, I'd be obliged if you'd tell the court just what happened on Thursday night.
Sure, Clint. Like everybody knows, that no-account McHugh shot my brother Jack.
I object.
You shut up, mister. It ain't your turn yet. Go ahead, Buck.
Jack said he was coming down here to your place, Dad, for a shot of whiskey. And that sidewinder McHugh dry dog.
Listen, you flea-bit mule,
McHugh, I'm fining you $20 for pulling the gun in this here court. That is contempt.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Go on.
Mr. Furlong, you say that McHugh killed your brother?
He sure did.
How do you know that?
Everybody knows it.
I didn't ask that. How do you know?
Because he's the only one could have done. Ike Dawlish seen him do it.
And Mr. Dawlish told you?
Well, sure. Ain't that right, Dad?
That's right, Buck. Told me, too.
You had no other proof?
I didn't need none.
That's all, Mr. Furlong. Thank you.
Next witness.
There were 10 more witnesses after that, all proclaiming Jack Furlong's good name and damning McHugh's. The trial was momentarily interrupted when 2 deer were spotted frolicking in a meadow 100 yards from the courtroom. There was a wild dash to the windows in order to obtain a better view. When order was restored, one of the prosecution's most important witnesses was called, Mrs. Buck Furlong.
Oh, Maggie, there ain't a soul here don't understand how you felt about your brother-in-law.
It's the truth. The holy truth.
Sure. Now, you tell the court what you know about the murder.
Well, that highbinder McCune, it wasn't enough he cheated our poor Jack out of his money, which everyone in Benton knows. He hated him because his conscience wouldn't let him sleep, haunted him like. So what I figure is when poor Jack went down to get himself a drop of whiskey for his poor tooth, which was ailing him something terrible, he run into McCune, and him being a drunken skunk, McCune couldn't stand to face up to him, so he shot him up. That's how it happened, Pa, Your Honor. You just ask Ike Dawlish, he'll tell you. Poor Jack,
No more questions, Your Honor.
Mrs. Furlong.
And you, mister, you ought to be ashamed defending a suck-egg coyote like that.
Ain't nobody! Man, nobody told you!
McCune, when you're done again, that's contempt. Court fined you $20.
Now, Your Honor, I feel that my client is showing admirable control under the circumstances.
You got more questions to ask, mister?
Mrs. Furlong, you were very fond of your brother-in-law, were you not?
A sweet honey boy he was.
Yes, I am sure this must be very painful. But aside from what you were told, you have absolutely no proof that George McCune shot Jack Furlong.
Oh, look at him! Look at him sitting there, still carrying the very gun that he murdered with.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Furlong. That's all.
Order! Well, sir, don't seem to me like there's much sense going on with this here trial. From what I've heard, McCune's as good as hung right now.
Oh, Your Honor.
You objecting again, mister?
Well, the prosecution hasn't called the eyewitness.
Oh, that's a waste of time, you ask me. All right, Clint, call your next witness.
I call Ike Dawlish, the man who saw the killing done.
Now, you swear to tell the whole truth, Dawlish?
Yes, sir, I surely do swear. Your name is Ike Dawlish?
Oh, yes.
Where was you on Thursday night at 9:30?
Well, like I told you, Mr. Wallace, I was coming along the street outside this saloon. When I got to the corner, there was George McCune shooting up poor old Jack Furlong. Then he turns and sees me and takes off out of there like a snake-eyed swishtail. I walk over to Jack, and he's lying there feeling mighty poorly-ish. And I come in here and tell old Dad Barry, and he goes out and sees what happened. That's all.
And you swear it was George McCune done the shooting?
Oh, I swear, I surely swear.
He's plumb loco! Shut your mouth, McCune, or I'll fine you for contempt.
I'm all through, Your Honor.
You got any questions, Kendall?
Yes, a few. Now, what time was it when you saw the shooting, Mr. Dawlish?
9:30 o'clock.
It was dark?
Sure it was.
How close were you to McCune?
Well, fairish way, maybe to where Mr. Wallace is sitting.
20 feet, and you recognized McCune in the dark from 20 feet away?
Oh, not in the dark, when he come out in the light.
Ah, in the light, and you had a good look at his face?
Good enough.
You saw his face?
Well, kinda. But I seen McCune around. I know what he looks like without seeing his whole face.
How was he dressed?
Like he is now. I got a good memory. Them same gray pants.
Hey, what's that?
Go on. Gray pants?
Kind of a black jacket and gray shirt. Black Stetson, too, like in his hand.
Exactly the same clothes as he wore the night before last,
The same.
McCune, will you describe for Mr. Dawlish what you are wearing?
I got on black pants, blue jacket, blue shirt, gray Stetson. Same as I always wear.
Mr. Dawlish, what is the color of my jacket?
Gray.
You are colorblind, my friend. I don't think you saw Mr. McCune at all. I think you either saw someone else, or perhaps you shot Jack Furlong yourself and blamed it on McCune.
I'm getting out of here.
How do
did you know, Kendall?
I didn't. Not until Dawlish made that slip about color. The rest was luck.
You know, I feel kind of sorry for Little Runt, even if he did blame it on me.
Has he said why he did it?
Oh, well, it seems Jack Furlong was rather romantically inclined toward Dawlish's wife. He knew Mr. McEwen would be the easiest person to blame for the shooting, and, well, that was that.
Hey, not that it makes no never mind, but listen to that Maggie Furlong, you figure maybe she and Jack was romantically inclined?
I figure that Jack Furlong had a very bad case of spring fever. It killed him.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Harry Bartell, Joe Kearns, Will Wright, Jack Moyles, Jeanette Nolan, Vic Perrin, and Stacey Harris. Music was composed and conducted by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to be with us again next week at this time for another chapter from the Journal of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
In a card game, aces and eights are known throughout the West as a dead man's hand. There's a good reason for it. And this is the story of how the hand got its name. Frontier Gentleman. Herewith an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. In just 1 minute, we'll bring you this latest report from the Frontier Gentleman. This is James Matthews with official results on the automobile competition the whole industry watches every year, the famous Mobile Gas Economy Run. This year's run, 1,883 miles from Los Angeles to Galveston, Texas, ranging from sea level through mountain passes. And once again, Chrysler Corporation cars took the lion's share of firsts. Plymouth, Chrysler, and Imperial again this year for the second straight year, winning first place over all other cars in their class in the famous economy run. Imperial, by the way, was sweepstakes winner, too, getting 62.7188 ton miles per gallon. The forward look is a lot more than look. You get a better engine, brawnier brakes, torsionaire ride at no extra cost, and winning performance and economy in cars of the forward look from Chrysler Corporation. Take a drive this week in a car of the forward look. Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, or the triumphant Imperial. Drive one of America's performance winners from Chrysler Corporation. Now starring John Daner. This is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman. I left Fort Benton, Montana Territory, in a little river steamer called the Pride of the West. The journey downstream on the Missouri was a good deal faster than that which I had made coming up from St. Louis just a few months earlier. I decided to write some articles for the London Times on river travel in the American West. But the balmy weather, coupled with a feeling of complete indolence, made me put off all thought of work. Several days passed, and then we docked at Fort Pierre in Dakota Territory. I went ashore to purchase a new pair of boots, and it was in the store of an outfitter named Judd Scott that I first heard the name of Deadwood. Well, the left one might be a bit tight. Yes, right here, in the heel.
Oh, she'll ease up, mister. Of course, I don't do much trade in ready-mades. If you had more time, I'd make you a real fine pair. Finest in Dakota Territory. Here, let me take it off. Try and work it out. So you're a newspaper correspondent, huh? Well, we've had 'em come through, but none from England. Must be pretty interesting, your line of work.
Yes, it is. Quite.
Too bad you ain't staying around these parts. Your folks back home would get a pleasure out of reading about things we got around here.
You mean in Fort Pierre?
Well, there ain't too much going on here. I guess you could write about Jack McCall, though. Try it on now. It should be better.
Jack McCall, huh?
Used to drive a stage between here and Deadwood. Got some tall yarns to spin about Indians and the like. Go ahead. Take a walk now.
Yes, I'd like to meet him.
He's back in Deadwood now. How's that? That better?
Yes, fine. Where is Deadwood?
You mean you ain't heard of it? Worst bunch of cutthroats and outlaws living in all the territories and the United States is in Deadwood. They even got Wild Bill Hickok out there. I hear tell there's folks wanting to put him up for marshal.
Hickok? Yes, I've heard of him.
Yeah, it won't take Wild Bill long to clean up, I can tell you.
Deadwood, huh?
Oh, you taking the boots?
I'm taking them. I sold the remainder of my ticket to a man booking passage for St. Louis, and the next day took the stage from Fort Pierre to Deadwood in the Black Hills of Dakota Territory. At the stagecoach station in Deadwood, I inquired after Jack McCall and was directed to Carl Mann's saloon. Even though it was Sunday, I was surprised to see that the place was practically empty. A hatchet-faced woman dressed in black was drinking alone at the bar, and I found McCall, a broken-nosed, sullen-looking man, sitting at a table playing a game of solitaire.
Yeah, it's me. Who's asking to know?
J.B. Kendall.
What's your business, J.B. Kendall?
Well, a gentleman in Fort Pierre mentioned your name. He runs the general store.
Judd Scott?
Yes, that's right.
How come you want to talk with me?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm a newspaper correspondent, and I thought there might be a story to write about Deadwood, and your friend suggested that I get in touch with you.
What kind of story are you thinking about?
I understand that Wild Bill Hickok is in town. Do you know him?
Why don't you ask her?
Or
at the bar. Calamity Jane. Figures she knows him better than most.
Oh, well, thank you, I will. Perhaps I can buy you a drink after?
Suit yourself. I ain't going nowhere.
Miss Jane?
You talking to me? The name's Calamity. Ain't no miss in it. Calamity Jane.
I'm sorry. I'm J.B. Kendall. The gentleman over there mentioned that you were a good friend of Wild Bill Hickok.
Who? Why, that ain't no gentleman. That's a stinking pig by the name of Jack McCall. You've been sitting with him. Don't foul up the air around me. Hit the trail, mister.
Yeah, well, I was hoping you could introduce me to Mr. Hickok.
Hey, you English?
Yes.
Thought so. Knew an English feller down in Abilene. Wouldn't quit riding herd on me. Had to shoot him.
Oh.
New in town, ain't you?
Just arrived.
You ain't friend of McCall?
Oh, I only met him a few minutes ago.
What brings you?
I'm a writer, newspaper articles for the London Times.
Hey, I guess you heard about me and Wild Bill, huh?
Oh, yes.
Fastest man with a gun you'll ever see. I ain't too bad myself, but I ain't nothing to Wild Bill. Come on over to the table, bring the bottle, and I'll tell you about me and Wild Bill.
Calamity Jane was a strange, almost masculine-looking woman, hard and rough-voiced. She told me of her exploits as a scout with General Crook's army in the war against the Sioux, but most of the time she spoke of Hickok.
About a half an hour had passed when I noticed Jack McCall get up from his table and come toward us.
Yes, sir. What Wild Bill done in Abilene, there ain't another man could have handled. Why,
Hey,
he...
mister, I thought you was going to buy me a drink.
Oh, not just now, Mr. McCall. I'm talking to the lady.
Oh, yeah, I see. It's mostly listening. Ain't nobody gets talk much around her.
McCall, you want me to put your eyeballs out with this bottle. You open that barn door of yours just once more.
Kendall, you come on down to Boot Hill Saloon when you're through. I'll tell you the truth about that female polecat there in a windy train.
One of these days, me or Wild Bill's gonna pump that coyote full of lead. Except he ain't worth wasting a ball on.
And all I know about him is that he used to drive the stage between here and Fort Pierre.
Yeah, lost that job because he couldn't hold his liquor. He used to be a buffalo hunter till the feller he worked for caught him stealing hides. He ain't no good, that one, and his pals is worse. You ever run into Tim Brady or Johnny Varnes, you watch your step, mister. Them's two of the boys, along with McCall, that Wild Bill's gonna run out of this town when he gets to be marshal.
Where is Wild Bill now?
He's up in the hills working on his claim. Him and his partner, Colorado Charlie. They ought to be back by tomorrow. He'd like to meet you, mister. Wild Bill always had a liking for you newspaper fellers. Well, what's your hurry? Sit down. We'll split another bottle.
Oh, thank you, but now I think I'd better get settled. Wash some of this Dakota dust off.
What a dude. All right, go on up the hotel. Tell him Calamity Jane sent you, and if they don't give you the best room, I'll shoot up the place.
The recommendation was most effective. I got the best room in the hotel. 2 hours later, in spite of Calamity Jane's warning, I wandered down to the Boot Hill Saloon. I was curious about McCall and what he might have to say about Calamity and Wild Bill Hickok. I found him there, very drunk. He was talking to a heavy-set man who was chewing on an unlit cigar. McCall greeted me as an old friend.
Hey, what do you say, Kendall? You had enough of that female windbag, huh? Hey, Tim, this is the fellow I was telling you about. Kendall's his name.
Yeah.
Kendall. Hi.
How are you? Tim Brady.
I owe Mr. McCall a drink. I came down to settle my
Oh,
debt.
that's real fine of you, Kendall. Oh, Jim Kendall's coming to Deadwood to write a story about Wild Bill Hickok, the new marshal of Deadwood.
You go and get yourself a drink, McCall.
Sure thing.
Take a chair, Kendall.
Marshal of Deadwood.
I wouldn't pay no heed to what McCall says. Not when he gets too much whiskey in him.
Did he say something?
About Hickok being marshal.
Oh, well, it's not particularly news. I heard that in Fort Pierre 5 days ago.
Well, don't you believe it?
Oh?
Fellers around here, they don't want his kind. You go writing in your paper or thing like that, you're going to have to turn right around and write that it ain't true.
He's not going to get the job?
No. I tell you, he does a lot of ear greasing, like that crow-bait mare, Calamity Jane. But all them things you hear is just a lot of brag. Hickok never plugged a man unless the feller's back was turned. I was down to Abilene when he dragged Gulch full of coal. This is the worst thing you ever seen. Shot him in the back. Then by mistake he goes and kills his own pal, Mike Williams. No, sir. Deadwood ain't gonna put up a man like that for marshal. You think so?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose it depends on how many want him.
Oh, well, there's a lot of them miners up to the hills. They're the ones. Figure he's a real big man. Heard all them crazy stories about him. You want to know what I think?
I'd be very interested.
I don't think he'd last 2 minutes as marshal before somebody shot the daylights out of him. Yes, your best thing for Hickok to do is get out of Deadwood and stay out. You see him, you tell him that.
The next night, Calamity Jane introduced me to Wild Bill Hickok. He looked older, more tired than I'd imagined him. As we sat in his room, I noticed that he blinked his eyes rubbed them and seemed quite nervous. Constantly glanced toward the door. Calamity had gone out to buy some food.
Me and Colorado Charlie had a rough week up in the hills. Feels kind of good to get back. You ever done any mining, Kendall?
No.
Well, if you ever had the idea, get somebody else to do the work for you. Well, what do you think of Deadwood?
Oh, I haven't been here very long.
Ain't much like London, I'll bet.
No, it isn't.
Well, do a little cleaning up like I did in Hayes City and Abilene. We'll have a right nice little town.
When do you expect to begin as marshal?
Any day now, the boys are getting things moving.
I saw a man yesterday, Tim Brady.
Brady?
And he asked me to give you a message.
Huh?
The best thing for Hickok to do is to get out of Deadwood and stay out.
Well, that's what he said, huh?
Yes.
You know why? They're afraid of me. They know what's going to happen after I get sworn in. I run them out, and if they don't run, we have a showdown. Brady and his pal Varnes ain't got stomach for that.
I gather they're the somewhat unsavory element in Deadwood, is that so?
Mister, you ain't just milking pigeons. Why, them miners up in the hills would be dead ducks for Brady and his gang if it weren't for me. This is the worst mining camp in the territory. Ain't been no law here since it started, and Brady don't want none. That's how come the miners want me for marshal. Protection.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't tried to get rid of you before this.
That jayhawker knows what had happened to him in a shoot-up. He ain't likely to try nothing. A fellow like that gets somebody else to do his dirty work.
Oh, it's only me, Bill. Put away the gun.
I told you, Charlie, you ought to knock.
Keep forgetting.
This is J.B. Kendall. He's going to write a story about me for an English paper.
Yeah, I run into Calamity down to Carl's place, and she told me. Nice to meet you, Kendall.
And you, sir.
My old pal, Charlie Utter.
Colorado Charlie's good enough.
Kendall's been talking to Brady.
Oh, that's so. Rest your saddle, Bill. You make me tired standing.
Brady said I ought to get out of town.
Oh, he'd like that fine.
Yeah, he'd like that. Well, I guess I'll go and wash up before Calamity gets back. You staying around, Charlie?
Yeah, I thought maybe we'd go down to Carl's later and play some cards.
All right. I'll be right back.
Sure. Got a lot on his mind, has Wild Bill. He ain't usually like this.
He seems to have trouble with his eyes.
Oh, you noticed, huh? I wouldn't want you to say nothing in front of Bill, but he's been scared he's going blind. Yeah, things sure don't seem like the old days. Oh, I gotta get these boots off. My feet's killing me.
How old is he?
Wild Bill? Yeah, let me see. 39. Of course, to hear him talk, you'd think he's closer to 60. I sure do fret over him sometimes. Always talking about dying, this and that. Ain't like the old days. He sure was a rip snorter. Oh, well, maybe when he gets to be marshal again, everything will be like it always was.
Calamity Jane came in with the food, and behind her, Bill Hickok. It was a strange supper. Both Colorado Charlie and Calamity kept up a stream of conversation, anecdotes singing the praise of Hickok's past accomplishments, but the atmosphere was strained. The man with the long hair didn't say very much. Afterwards, Charlie Utter invited me to accompany them to the saloon. I noticed that Hickok was reluctant. Possibly he had a feeling, a warning of what was to come. It was 8 o'clock when we arrived at Carl Mann's saloon and sat down at the card table.
Charlie, change seats with me. I ain't sitting with my back to the door.
Wild Bill, you're getting worse than an old woman.
Or maybe so, but that's the way it is. I like to see what's coming in.
Well, here. Yeah, take my place if you like.
No, sir. All he wants is a catbird seat. That's how come he's always winning. You ain't moving, Bill.
You got the right idea, Charlie. Wild Bill, you got your seat, and that's the way it's going to be. Carl! Bring us a bottle of whiskey and a deck of cards. Marshal Hickok's going to be the big loser tonight.
After a few minutes, we were joined by a miner, and the 5 of us played. It was a friendly game, and we could see Hickok beginning to relax. He was a good player and held more than his share of winning hands. But while the game went on, there was something happening down the street in the Boot Hill Saloon. We didn't know it then, but after it was too late, we heard what had taken place. 3 men sat in a back room, one of them drinking heavily. This was Jack McCall. The other 2 were Tim Brady and Johnny Varnes, the leaders of the Toughs in Deadwood.
Well, I'm telling you, Jack, you'll be a big man.
Well, they'll look at you when you walk down the street. They'll say, there goes Jack McCall. He killed Wild Bill Hickok.
You hear what Johnny says?
Yeah, I hear. Give me another drink, Jack.
Well, sure.
He's in Carl's place right now. You could get him easy.
Oh, might not be so easy.
Well, you ain't afraid, are you, Jack?
No, I ain't afraid.
No.
No, I ain't afraid, but it just won't be so easy.
Of course, we could get somebody else to do it. We just figured, Tim and me, we figured you was the man for the
look,
job.
I ain't saying I won't
You know
do
what
it.
we could do, Johnny?
What?
We could maybe get that newspaper feller, Kendall, to write something about Jack in his paper.
Hmm?
How'd you like to see that, boy, in an English paper? Jack McCall shoots down Wild Bill Hickok. Yeah, you could go on the stage all over with that. Sure.
Yeah, he's right down the street, Jack.
Yeah,
I seen him myself. And you know what? He's sitting with his back to the door.
Now, you listen. Just listen. How come if you was there, you didn't plug him yourself?
Yeah, it ain't no use, Johnny. He don't understand. All right.
No,
Forget it,
wait a
Jack.
minute. I'm
Go on,
not just.
get out
I'm
of
just
it.
asking. That's all. Now, just tell me how come.
Because Calamity Jane and Colorado Charlie is with him. If they saw me, they'd know something was wrong. But not you, Jack. They wouldn't figure you drawing on Hickok.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's all I wanted to know was why.
All right. What do you say, Jack?
Sure. Why not?
Give
Sure.
him a gun, Johnny. And don't you miss, boy. You hear?
Look at there.
3 kings.
He's beat you, Wild Bill.
I mean, son of a gun if he hasn't. I had you pegged for no more than 2 pair.
Kendall ain't the best player I've seen, but he's sure a lucky one. Deal him out, Calamity.
All right.
The old feller once in Hayes City drew 2 cards to a royal. Luckiest thing I ever seen.
That's a loco thing for a man to do.
Sure was. He took one look at his hand and keeled over plumb dead.
You know, I had a hand something like that. I won a Chinese girl with it a few weeks ago in Deer Lodge.
I did.
No kidding.
Sure.
What did you do with her?
Well, I gave her to a man I knew. He married her.
Open for $1.
Wait. Yes, I'm staying.
Stay? Me too.
I ain't proud. There. Cards?
3.
Kendall?
2, please.
Give me 1.
There's a man's gonna drop dead if he pulls it right.
How's about you, Charlie?
2.
Dealer takes 3.
Honest woman.
That's one thing I ain't nor never hope to be. Your bet, Wild Bill.
Well, I'll tell you, friends, I'm going to make this rough on you. $2.
All right. I call.
Not me. And I ain't dropping dead, neither. Well, I'll see you.
I'm a sucker. All right. What do you got, Wild Bill?
Prettiest 2 pair you ever seen. Aces and 8.
Wild Bill Hickok slumped forward on the table. He still had the winning smile on his face, and the cards crumpled in his tightening fist. It was Calamity Jane who found Jack McCall. He was hiding in a butcher shop nearby.
Colorado Charlie and I dragged him away before she had a chance to use the meat cleaver she was holding. We found 6 cartridges in McCall's gun. The only one to fire was the first, the one that killed Hickok. The other 5 were defective. Before I left Deadwood, McCall was tried for murder. But Brady and Vons must have chosen the jury themselves, because the final verdict was not guilty.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were John McIntyre, Jeanette Nolan, Jack Moyles, Larry Dobkin, Stacey Harris, and Vic Perrin. Music was composed and conducted by Amerigo Moreno. Join us again next week for another report from the Frontier Gentleman. James Matthews speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
It occurs to me that in my reports to the London Times, there are many incidents which I have omitted, things seen and heard during my past 3 months in the American West. Here, then, some random notes.
Frontier Gentleman. Herewith an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
These random notes are being written as I journey from Deadwood to Cheyenne on the Cheyenne and Black Hills stage line. I recall an incident in the Montana Territory town of Helena. A tall gentleman in high hat, black broadcloth frock coat, a dirty shirt with a torn paper collar, and a most singularly unpressed pair of nankeen trousers. He stood outside a saloon with a small case of bottles set before him.
Yes, sir.
About a dozen men and women were crowded around, and a small yellow dog slumbering.
Not magic. Pollock's original Mameluke liniment, a sovereign remedy for man and beast. It is confidently recommended to the afflicted as an infallible remedy for the following diseases to wit: burns, cramps, pains in the joints, sore throat, frosted feet, rheumatism, spinal complaints, lumbago, old sores, cuts, bruises, swellings, sprains, pains in the back or side, headache, cutaneous affections, ague, cake, bites of insects or reptiles, salt rheum, mange, cracked hands, catarrh, dysentery, cholera morbus, and cholera.
What about the heaves, mister?
The heaves, you ask? And in this bottle, the answer to your question, sir. Pollock's syrup of sassafras, a cure, nature's noblest remedy for heaves, consumption, bronchitis, croup or hives, colds, coughs, asthma, hoarseness, difficulty of breathing, purifying the blood, whooping cough, and a dozen ailments too horrible to mention in a public street. To any of you afflicted with any of the diseases I have mentioned, or some that I have not, don't delay. get your bottle of Pollux compound of syrup of sassafras, for it is certain to give more relief in a short time than all the sarsaparillas and other compounds the stomach could bear. Ladies and gentlemen, it costs only 25 cents for one bottle, or as an added inducement for your health, Pollux Original Mameluke Liniment and a bottle of Pollux syrup of sassafras, both for the small sum of 40 cents. Think of the dollars and suffering you will save by this miraculous movement.
I remember the game of baseball that I witnessed between two small Nebraska towns. Suffice to say that the match began at 2 o'clock. By 6 that evening, the score stood 97-25, and a gun battle ensued which lasted for 3 days. I shall give a more complete account of that incident at a later date. Then there was the duel, fought between two ladies, rivals for the dubious hand of a swaggering young Lothario named Court Thompson. The entire town turned out for the event. The duelists were Mattie Silks and Katie Fulton. They were to fire at 10 paces, and all was in readiness.
Well, sir, if you ask me, my money's on Mattie.
Mattie?
Sure. Everybody knows Mattie Silks. You mean you ain't visited?
No.
I got $10, says she'll blow Katie Fulton's bustle clean out of the county. Aside from Court Thompson, Mattie ain't standing for Katie's bar being on the same street. Oh, there's real bad feeling there.
Which is Court Thompson?
Feller standing next to Mattie. Oh, he's a one, he is. You got to excuse me now, mister. I've been selected to count off the steps. All right, folks, stand back. Let's get on with this here duel of honor. Mattie, Katie, you know the rules. 10 paces, then I count 3 and you start shooting. Now, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. Ready, ladies? 1, 2, 3. You killed me! I'm shot!
It was Katie Fulton's shot that missed Mattie Silks and hit Court Thompson. Some said she'd done it purposely, others argued that it was an accident. At any rate, Mattie took the wounded Don Juan home. And as far as I know, their love burgeoned from that moment on. I must find time to send a more detailed report on Mattie Silks. She's quite an extraordinary woman. Then I think of an old man, a miner I met in Fort Benton. His name was Shorthorn Tom. On our journey to locate his lost mine, he gave me an insight into Western speech, which I have found to be most valuable. He was leading a balky mule along a winding trail, and the air was rather blue with invective.
I ain't really cussing, just sort of air in your lungs. Now you take that mule. I call him a son of a gun. No, that ain't rightly so, 'cause anybody can see he ain't nothing but a son of a mule. But he's a no good son of a gun, 'cause that's the way it goes, see?
Yes, I follow you. Oh, speaking of that, what exactly is son of a gun stew?
Son of a gun stew? Shucks, I'll tell you. That's just about the best thing a man ever put in his inside. It's got brains and sweetbreads. Oh, gotta be a fresh-killed calf. Oh, gotta be. And tongue, liver, lights, heart, kidney. I tell you, mister, that is a something. Better than pooch any day. Yes, sir, when I find this claim, I'm going to get me a new set of teeth, and I'll show you how to make son of a gun stew. Throw everything in it except in the hair, horns, and holler. Oh, that's a real grub.
Sounds it. Now, tell me, what is hardtail?
Oh, just a mule, like this ornery stump-sucking son of a gun.
Oh, hardtail, mule.
Correct.
Stump sucker.
Ain't you never seen a horse getting his teeth against something and sucking wind? That's what a stump sucker is. Oh, you don't want nothing to do with a critter like that. No, sir.
I've heard the expression riding herd on a woman.
Oh, that's courting riding herds. Courting. Boy, you stick around old Shorthorn Tom, he'll have you talking as smart as a bunkhouse rat. Hey, you know what a woman is out in these parts?
No, what?
calico, painted cat, sage hen, cow bunny, long-haired partner, quail, squawk. You know what we call a feller like you, green from the east? Tenderfoot, button, dude, prune picker, pilgrim, softhorn, a greener.
Yes, well, what about you?
Me? A rawhide, coffee cooler, pocket hunter, river sniper. Of course, fellers call me a lot of other things, too. It don't really matter what they call you, though. It's what you are that counts. Now, I take you for a good partner, mister. A real good...
Shorthorn Tom never did find his lost mine. He died up in the Highwood Mountains. I was with him. Then there was the performance of Othello that I witnessed in Kansas, the Frontier Theatrical Players. Othello was a fine, powerful fellow with a broad Texas accent, a cowhand recruited by the wife of a ranch owner. Needless to say, the wife played Desdemona. Unfortunately, Othello had a scant 3 days in which to memorize his part. The resultant scene, I report.
That handkerchief which I loved and give to you, I'll give it to Cassio.
No, by my life and soul, send for the man and ask him.
I don't want no sweet talk, honey. Y'all take heed of perjury, 'cause you art on thy deathbed.
Aye, but not yet to die.
Yeah. So you confess freely about all that's in it. For
to deny each article.
For to deny each article with oath, cannot remove or choke. Something that I do grunt. Honey, you all gonna die.
Mercy.
Amen.
And have you mercy, too? I never did offend you in my life. Never loved Cassio, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love. I never gave him token.
Look, I saw you. You know the handkerchief. Everything.
He found it then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let
He
him...
confessed.
What, my lord?
Well, you know, he been dealing off of the
He
bottle.
will not say so.
He won't for a fact. Honest Iaga stopped his mouth.
Oh, my fear and turkey. What is he dead?
Had all of his hair been live, my great revenge had stomach for all of them.
Alas, he is betrayed and I undone.
Out strumpet. Weepst thou for him in my face?
Oh, banish me, my lord, but not kill me.
Down strumpet.
Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight.
No, sir.
But half an hour.
Being done, there is no pause.
But while I say one prayer.
It is too late now.
Oh.
You take your hands off me spoon, Sam, or I'm coming up there and rip the hide.
The player's conclusion had deviated somewhat from Shakespeare's intent, but I found it nonetheless dramatic. I've often wondered whether the Texas Othello continued his thespian career. He could have made a fortune in London. Speaking of fortunes, reminds me of an extraordinary thing that happened in Montana Territory. As soon as we reach the next stage station, I'll jot it down.
In a moment, we return to Frontier Gentlemen. A man sets an elaborate scheme in motion. He plans it so well that it can't be stopped. This proves ironic when the schemer is powerless to prevent the unexpected conclusion becoming his own victim. Hear John Lund in today's startling CBS radio drama of Suspense. Lund will play the fast-talking promoter who overplays his own hand. It's a story well calculated to keep you in suspense. Today on most of these stations. And now we return you to the Anthony Ellis production of Frontier Gentlemen.
The rocketing coach of the Cheyenne and Black Hills stage line had crossed into Wyoming territory. There seems no end to this incredible land of the American West. As the dark hills to the north and east fall away, the land becomes more rolling. I mention an event in Montana Territory that happened to a Chinese gentleman named Li Chao. He was a well-educated man, scrupulously honest, and ran a general supply store in Helena. During a few days of my visit, I enjoyed several cups of tea and one or two chess games with him. I remember that one afternoon he seemed quite excited. His hand shook as he poured the tea.
This is a momentous day for me, my friend, Kendall.
Oh?
You are the first to know. I am now an owner of a mine.
No.
Yes. Here, let me show you. Here. A legal document which gives me possession of the Lucky Hand placer claim.
Well, is it good?
Good. Oh, my friend Kendall, I have paid for it with my life savings. $40,000. You know that some men have been bringing me their gold dust to keep for them, as in a bank.
Yes, I remember you telling me.
It was their claim which I bought. I took much time, much trade talk, but finally they agreed to sell. And now I am a mine owner.
Oh.
As soon as I have made my fortune, Kendall, I shall return to China and live the remainder of my life in peace and security.
Li Chao was evidently the last, or next to last man in Helena to find out what had happened. I heard it 3 days later from the barber who was shaving me.
Why, man, this is the biggest joke in Helena since old man Hornsby strung up that mule for kicking his wife. You mean you ain't heard?
No, I really haven't.
well, there's a Chinese gent along the street, Li Chao.
I know him.
You know he bought himself a mine?
Yes, I know.
You know it's salted?
Salted?
He paid $40,000 for a salted mine. What the boys done was to take him a bag of gold dust every day to hold for them. Lee figures they got a whopper claim. He wants to buy in partners. No, sir, says they. Then when Lee's prime real good, the boys figures how they've done enough work and they're ready to sell out. Li Chao buys for $40,000. The fellas take that dust and vamoose, leaving Li Chao with a deed to a vegetable farm. That's all it's good for. Hey, hold your head still, mister. I don't want to slice you.
Yeah. Does he know yet?
If he don't, he's the only man in Helena ain't.
What about the men who sold the claim to him?
Well, last I heard, they was headed for California.
Good morning, my friend, Mr. Kendall.
Good morning, Mr. Lee.
You appear downcast. Is something the matter?
I've just heard some rather bad news. It's about your claim.
Oh?
You've been cheated, Mr. Lee.
Oh.
There's no gold. The men who sold it to you knew it.
So? But I do not understand. Yesterday, my boys who work for me, they bring me a sack of dust. Oh, here. See for yourself. It is the same as I have seen before, huh?
Your workers took this out of the claim.
Oh, it is just as it has always been. I do not understand this talk of cheating.
Neither do I, Mr. Lee.
Oh, here, my friend, G. Ping. He's a very fine man of work for me. Morning, G.
Good morning, Lee. Good morning, honored sir.
How do you do, sir?
Oh, my friend here, Mr. Kendall. He's worried about the claim.
He worried? Why?
Well, there's talk of assaulting the mine.
The salt then is of gold. Here, from the work of yesterday. An ounce more than the first day.
I do not know from where you hear this bad news, my friend, Mr. Kendall. But if the rest of my life is as unfortunate, I shall indeed be a rich and happy man. Will you take a cup of tea with me? Perhaps a game of...
A day or so later, I left Helena and didn't return for about 3 weeks. Then it was only to spend an hour or so arranging for transportation to Fort Benton. I went to the store of Mr. Li Chao and found to my surprise that it was closed. I walked to the barber shop and over a hair trimming learned what had happened during my absence.
Li Chao?
Mister, you whisper that name around these parts. Say, ain't I seen you before?
Yes, I came in for a shave a few weeks ago.
Oh, never forget a face.
Well, what about Li Chao?
Oh, he's gone. China, they say.
Well, what happened?
Well, he sold that claim of his.
Oh. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, maybe you are, but there's a passel of fellas around here who ain't. You know what that son of a gun did?
What?
Salted his mind.
But
Ain't that something? Everybody figuring Li Chao an honest man, and he salts a mind. It shows you.
How? I mean, I thought the claim had turned out to be good. What do you call it? A bonanza.
That's what everybody thought.
Well?
You know what he was doing? Every day he had one of his coolies bringing a sack of dust. Made sure people saw it. After a while, fellas began figuring that Lee really had struck pay dirt. Couple of them went in to see Lee. He showed them a sack of dust.
Yeah, well, he showed it to me.
Oh, sure he did. And he had one other sack. That's all he had. One he kept in the store, the other he give back to the coolie who'll bring it in the next day. It ain't nothing to laugh at, mister. You know what he done?
No, I haven't any idea.
Well, he sold that worthless bit of ground for $100,000. Yes, sir, $100,000. Then he skips off to China. Biggest swindle I ever seen in the territory. Fellas who bought it found out the next day. Ain't enough dust in the claim to cover a flea, but it was too late then.
I have thought of the outlaw Dick Gillis and the interview I had with him in Virginia City. He had been convicted of holding up a stage and the murder of 2 men. I only spent 5 minutes with him, but I learned a great deal. We talked in his cell, the marshal sitting outside at his desk, keeping a watchful eye on us. Gillis was quite proud to be the subject of an English newspaperman's report. Perhaps he colored his life for that reason. His language was, to say the least, unusual, and so were some of his thoughts.
I'm 36. 36 years out of a mother's arms I never knew. She went up Salt River when I was born. Savvy? My pa, he were a wicked old so-and-so. He used to beat the tar out of me. I run away from home when I was 10.
Where did you go?
Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado. I've been all over. I've seen more than most men see in 5 lifetimes. Less than I wish I had.
What made you start this, being an outlaw?
Man, don't start, mister. Shucks, I was born outlaw. Did my first killing when I was 10. Shot me my pa's horse. That's how come I run away.
Why did you shoot his horse?
I don't know. Because I guess the old varmint cared more for horseflesh than he did for his son. I sure hated that critter. If I hadn't killed the horse, I'd have killed the old man, that's for sure.
How many men have you killed?
A fair fight, 2. It don't matter telling it now, because I'm going to hang anyway. 7. 7 I killed in hate, for killing's sake.
Do you have a girl?
I got a wife. I ain't seen her for 3 years now. There's a kid, too, but I never did go back. I guess it's how they'll manage along. You know, a man like me oughtn't to take up with a wife, nor kids. There's something all fired wrong.
Wrong?
A fella like me. I know I done bad. I know I'm going to hang. There ain't no one going to sorrow. Kind of wish that weren't so. What do you think?
I know what you mean.
If I had me a 44, I'd shoot my way out of here. And I'd head me for the hills and live, you know? It's funny how quick a man forgets the smell of grass and sage. I should have been one of them poet fellas. I knew Jack Crawford once. You ever meet up with him?
No.
When you think of hanging. I sure never figured that when I was a kid. Not when you're walking around straight up. You sure don't think of that. I'll tell you something. I got me a feeling inside. Oh, it's twisted. Looped up like it. I'd like to ask you a favor, mister.
And what is it?
You write what I'm telling you in that English paper of yours. You say maybe somebody sorrowed when I got my neck broke, huh? Make it up maybe like my wife or my kid heard and they sorrowed?
I will.
Day comes when a man gets to be alone. Ain't nothing more to look at except what's inside. I sure hadn't ought to kill that horse, you know?
These are some of the things that I have seen, heard, during these past 3 months in the American West. In a few days, I will arrive in Cheyenne, Wyoming territory, where I shall send another report to the London Times.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Jack Moyles, Peter Leeds, Vic Perrin, Joseph Kearns, Jack Crucian, and Winston Ross. Music was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Join us again next week for another report from the Frontier Gentleman. John Wall speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
In Cheyenne, I met the richest man in the West. I also met Willie Ringo and was given a railroad train. This is how it happened.
Frontier Gentleman. Herewith, an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. In just 1 minute, we will bring you this latest report from the Frontier Gentleman.
I'm Irma Dutro, color stylist for O'Brien Paints. Our musical theme hardly needs introduction. Just as the many instruments blend into this symphony, so O'Brien blends many pigments into the newest fashion-right colors for your home, giving more color per color. We have selected O'Brien's exciting new colors of the year after consulting many leading decorators and home furnishings experts of the country. And because all these colors are decorator approved, you are assured of rich, authentic new colors for your own home. Your nearest O'Brien paint dealer, listed in the yellow pages of your phone book, has a free color chip folder for you. He'll help you select O'Brien paints in these exclusive new colors of the year for both inside and outside your home. Stop in and see him soon.
Now, starring John Daner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentleman.
Cheyenne, Wyoming territory. Here, for the first time in months, I have seen a railroad once again, and here I have had my first glimpse of the capital of a vast cattle ranching area. The town itself is a sprawling maze of streets, thriving business establishments. One feels a vitality which springs in no small part from the presence of that slender but tough link between East and West, the railroad. 2 days after my arrival, I met a gentleman by the name of Carey Chase. He was editor and owner of the Daily Press and insisted that I join him for lunch at the Cheyenne Club.
There's probably more Englishmen at the Cheyenne Club than you'll find in the rest of the country.
Oh, really?
Sure. I tell you, Kendall, this cattle business is the biggest thing that's hit the West. Bigger than all your mining. Lots of English money in it, too. And your countrymen are over here to protect their investments.
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Chase, I didn't come to Cheyenne to write about my countrymen. I'm here to write about yours.
Well, you'll meet all kinds at the club. If you're lucky, you might get to see Buck Wharton. Guess you heard of him.
No, I don't think I have.
Just about the richest man in the West. They say he's worth $10 million, and that's just from cattle. Yeah, he'd make a fine story for you. Of course, it depends on whether he likes you or not. Got to get him in the right mood. Real important man in these parts, I tell you.
Young man?
Buck Wharton, 75 if he's a day. Claims to be 60, but don't you believe it. Wicked old devil. Married to the prettiest little thing you ever saw. Little Minnie. Say, he found her in Denver. She was a dancer in a traveling theatrical show. Buck took one look at her and the dance she was doing and married her the next day. That's how the story goes.
Do they both live in Cheyenne?
On and off. She's here with him now. Oh, here we are.
Afternoon, Mr. Chase.
Afternoon, Jasper. Buck Wharton here?
Yes, sir. He's in the bar.
Fine. This is Mr. Kendall. He's going to have lunch with me.
Yes, sir. That's fine. I'll get you a table, sir.
Why don't we go in the bar, Kendall? Make any kind of a drink you want, even a cocktail. Though I wouldn't advise it if you drink with old Buck. He's a red-eye man himself.
No, it's a little too early for me. But I'd like to meet Mr. Wharton, if he's in the mood.
Sure. Don't mind the way he talks. Sometimes he gets a little... Well, you'll see.
Oh, I said, listen to me, you jerk-down little organ pudding foot. I can buy you and your whole shirt-tail outfit, and it wouldn't mean no more to me than spit. Why, man, I own Texas. I own Texas. That's what I said, boy. Buy 'em out or stomp 'em out. That's the way I made my money. Now, you boys take my advice. If they won't sell to you, just stomp on 'em. Just stomp on 'em. Yes, sir.
Hello, boys. Buck. I'd like you to meet J.B. Kendall, correspondent for the London Times.
Gentlemen?
I'm Buck Wharton, mister, and there's two things I hate. Sod busters and sheep punchers. And if you're either one of them, get out of my sight.
He writes for the London Times, Buck.
Who asked you, Chase? You got more lip than a muley cow. Ain't nothing I hate worse than a leaky mouth. Sit down, mister. I reckon you want to ask me how come I'm the richest son of a gun in the West. All right, boys. This is a private party. Roll your wheels. Go on, kid. Sit down. Sit down. You too, Chase. Sit down. What you boys drinking?
Whiskey.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Listen to me, boy. I ain't never yet trusted a man who don't drink. There's something all fired wrong. Man who don't drink drags a long loop. Jasper! Yes, 3 whiskeys!
Yes, sir.
Kendall, your name, huh?
Right.
Well, I don't mind doing business with you English fellas. Takes you a long time to talk turkey, though. Now, you take them range pirates who's just sitting here. They ain't cattlemen. I can buy and sell them 100 times. Cattle, man.
Have you been in the cattle business all your life, Mr. Wharton?
Have I been in the... Listen to me, boy. I was one of the first ever to drive a herd up from the border into Dodge. Gosh, I wasn't nothing but a saddle stiff in them days, but after a while I got tired of working for somebody else. Started out on my own, all by myself. Bought me a herd of kettle-bellied critters and run 'em up Tabeline. Made enough from them to buy me a bigger herd. I was a made man, yes, sir.
Here, your whiskeys, Mr. Buck, sir.
Leave the bottle, you got your varmint.
Yes, sir. Anything else, gentlemen?
Vamoose, boy, vamoose.
Yes, sir.
You listen to what I tell you, Kendall. I got 100,000 head down Texas way. Anybody wants to buy from me, They want to buy from me, they come down and drive 'em up to Cheyenne theirself. That way I sell 'em before the fat comes off 'em, you see there? Before the fat comes off.
It makes sense.
Sure it makes it. Sure, you ain't drinking.
No, thank you very much. Never before lunch.
Look here. It ain't every man who gets to drink with Buck Wharton.
I can't tell you how honored I am.
Well, no, that's all right, boy. I like you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You doing anything this afternoon?
Not particularly.
All right, then you take a ride with me and little men over to Laramie.
Laramie? But that's 50 miles from here, isn't it?
Well, sure. A couple hours is all.
Oh, you mean on the train?
That's right, on the train. I got a little business over in Laramie. There's a fella there needs stomping on. Well, I got to meet little men for dinner now. You be at the railroad station at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, you hear me? Hey, Chase, you ain't paid for them drinks.
Well, no,
That's all right. Pay for 'em.
Buck Wharton had all the finesse of a ton of coal. But at the same time, the old reprobate fascinated me. And so, promptly at 2 o'clock, I found myself waiting at the railroad station. On a siding was an engine and one car.
You be waiting here at 7. You hear me, boy? Hey, Kendall! Kendall, this here's the little men. Men, say hello to Kendall.
Mr. Kendall,
Mrs.
hello.
Wharton?
Buck told me he was coming with us. I think it's just fine.
Have you ever rode an engine before, Kendall?
No?
Well, you're going to today.
Well, I've always wanted to.
Boy, when you're with Buck Wharton, you do what you've always wanted to do. That's because I could buy and sell any jughead in this whole territory.
Buck owns part of the railroad, don't you, honey?
Yeah, and before I'm through, I'm going to own all of it. Me and you ride in the car. I don't want you getting no cinders and dust on that there new dress. Set me back $300, that dress did, Kendall. $300.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm glad you like it.
Yes, y'all fired up, Hank? Yes, sir, Mr. Warden. You go ahead back in the car now, honey. We'll see you in Laramie.
All right, honey. Now, you drive careful now.
You own this train, Mr. Wharton?
Well, of course I own it, but I'm a rich man. A rich man. Kendall, you call me Buck. You got a handle?
Yes, J.B.
Well, then let's get on this iron horse, J.B.
Well, afternoon, Mr. Wharton.
Hank, this is J.B.
Nice to make your acquaintance.
You got them rifles?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, doggone buffalo, J.B. They cussed things stray all over the tracks. Heard of them knock the engine off the rails one time. You remember that, Hank?
I sure do, Mr. Wharton.
Well, let's get started, boy. Hey, J.B., you want to blow the whistle?
Oh, I'd be delighted to.
All right, rope overhead there. I'll take the throttle. You fire, Hank.
Yeah.
Hey, did you telegraph through to Laramie to make sure there ain't no other train in my way and coming at us?
I sure did, Mr. Wharton.
All right. Blow like thunder, boy. She's running mighty smooth. Have you ever drove an engine, J.B.?
No, never.
Yeah, we get out a little ways. I'll let you take it.
Oh, fine.
That's Dale Creek Bridge up ahead there.
Oh?
Now I better slow her down.
Quite a bridge.
Well, it's the highest in the world. Hey, Mr. Warden, the brakes! The brakes! What?
It's the brakes.
Something on the track!
Something on the track. There's a boulder.
Now, how do you figure that happened?
Buck, if you come over to this side, you'll see.
and bushwhacked.
All right. You all climb down out of there. Me and the boys got you covered. Good. Now you all try something, and there are going to be windows in your skull.
In a moment, we return to Frontier Gentlemen. In fiction, one of the things we enjoy most is the building up of suspense as to the outcome. Every Sunday, CBS Radio brings you a story in which this uncertainty accumulates until the final smashing climax of suspense. Let this reminder serve as an invitation to listen later today as suspense comes to you over most of these CBS radio stations. After that, you'll need no reminder that every Sunday, CBS Radio brings you another thrilling tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. And now, we return you to Anthony Ellis' production of Frontier Gentlemen.
Any of you fellas carrying shooting irons?
What do you mean by this? Listen here, boy. You know who I am?
No, I don't know who you are, old-timer. Who are you?
I'm Buck Wharton. That's who I am.
Well, I declare. They say you got more money than the yellow dog got fleas. I'm proud to meet up with you, Mr. Wharton. Now, you know who I am?
You're a churn-dash calf who ain't got no better sense.
I'm Willie Ringo. If you don't shut that flannel mouth of yours, I'm going to cut out your tongue. Well, who are you?
Hank Marble.
And you?
J.B. Kendall.
I see. What y'all carrying in a railroad car?
Nothing. We're on our way to Laramie.
Pharaoh?
Yeah, Willie.
You take two of the boys. See what's in that railroad car.
Sure, Willie.
Now, Mr. Wharton, just how much money is you carrying?
Listen to me, boy. If you think I'm going to give you any of my money, you're a thinker's pioneer, and I figure.
Don't you get me on the prod now, you old duffer.
Old duffer? Old duffer? Why, you goslin' chin-young squirt. You ought to be playing with a string of spools. Just a sawed-off bucket, doggy, that's all it is.
I'll leave him lay, mister.
Mrs. Wharton, he's all right.
Oh, no, he ain't. What did you do to him?
I put a knot in his head. Wow. You mean a filly like you is that old dog's wife?
I sure am, Sonny.
Lady, don't you never call me Sonny. You hear?
Hey, Willie, let's get out of here. There ain't nothing in the car. We can move up the line and wait for the next one.
Shut your mouth, Hal. We got plenty of time. Besides, I got an idea there's good diggings right here. Al, Frank, you pick up that old man and put him in the car. And then you get that bowler off that track, too.
All right, Willie.
What are you going to do with him?
Why, ma'am, he's so rich that I figure I could convince him to part with some of his money. You, mister, what'd you say your name was?
I said my name was Kendall.
I see. All right, you and this engine driver, you get back on that thing. Pharaoh, stay with them. You see they keep a good head of steam up. Soon as Mr. Wharton's agreeable, we'll start for Laramie. You come with me, little lady.
No, I won't. You get... Oh!
Let's go. All right. Stand over there, both of you. This thing got enough steam, like Willie says?
For a while.
You want to stay alive, you see it keeps that way.
Where Where are the rifles Buck was talking about when we left Cheyenne?
Up there. There, I seen him. See up there on the rack?
Loaded?
Yeah.
When do you have to throw on more wood?
A few minutes.
We'll wait.
Mr. Kendall, I'm going after Stoke.
All right. Tell him.
Mister, I better get some wood on. The fire's going down.
Go ahead.
I'll help.
No.
It's better with two. Fire goes down pretty quick.
All right. Watch yourself.
While I'm loading the firebox, you put it in reverse. Then open up the throttle. We'll get them off balance.
Back up all the way to Cheyenne? Yes.
You all right, Hank?
Yeah. What we gonna do with this here fella?
You just watch him. If he comes to, hit him again.
All right.
You take his gun. I'll use one of the rifles.
Hey, listen, I can't see so good going backwards like this.
Don't worry about it.
We could back right in another train. There's one down this way out of Cheyenne in a while.
We'll meet it. Listen. Is there any way for me to go back to the carriage?
Well, you can crawl over the tender. You better not, though.
I can try. I started to crawl over the wood-loaded tender toward the carriage. The little train jumping, rocking over the uneven rails. Hey, it was a sudden lurch that saved me. The bullet struck a log beside my arm. I felt a splinter tear my cheek, and I fired back. I hit one of them, saw him fall off the carriage platform. Then Willie Ringo darted back inside. I made a jump for the platform. And there were two of them inside now. I stood to the side of the open door and waited. There.
Hey, Kendall! Kendall!
What is it?
You stop this train, I'll make a deal with you.
You throw out your guns.
How do I know you won't come in shooting?
You don't.
I'll kill the old man and the girl.
It won't do you any good. You'll die for it.
Kendall! Kendall, if there's Buck, listen to me, boy. You gotta stop. There's another train coming toward us. I can see it.
Ringo, give your guns to Mr. Wharton and I'll stop the train.
All right, all right.
All right, you better get out of here, Buck.
Yes, he's coming up fast.
No, that's all right. Hank has seen it.
Jump, mister. We're all going to get killed.
You stay right where you are, Sonny, or I'll blow out your lamp.
I want to tell you, J.B., I want to tell you, boy, I want to tell you, me and little men here, we owe you a lot.
We sure are grateful, Mr. Kendall. Why, you saved our lives.
You sure did. Money just can't buy what you done for us, J.B. Money can't buy what you done for us, so I ain't going to insult you by offering any. But I want to tell you, I stand here, boy, and I tell you, if there's ever anything, and when I say that, I mean anything at all, if there is, you say the word, boy, you hear me? You say the word.
He means that, Mr. Kendall. Anything.
I'm a rich man, J.B., a rich man. I can buy and sell any living man in these parts. Now, boy, don't you be bashful. You just name it.
No, you don't have to give me anything.
Yeah, this train. How about this little train? She's yours, boy. She's yours.
No, thanks.
The company paid for her, and I'd give her to you, J.B. She is yours.
But what am I going to do with the train?
Sell her back to the company. I'll make them give her to me, and we can split the profit. Now that's what you call a business transaction, boy. Come on down to the club. I'll let you buy a drink on it.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Daner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Parley Bear as Buck Horton, Jack Crucian as Hank, Eddie Firestone as Willie Ringo, Harry Bartell as Carrie Chase, and Virginia Gregg as Min Wharton. Sundays on most of these same stations, it's the FBI in Peace and War. Here's drama that pulls no punches, revealing how unsung heroes of the Federal Bureau of Investigation operate to track down criminals and saboteurs. Listen later in the day as the dragnet closes on another public enemy. It's 30 minutes of thrilling, spine-tingling drama on the FBI in Peace and War. Join us again next week for another report from the Frontier Gentleman. Dan Coverly speaking.